Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a very apropos drizzly November morning for Monday, December 8th, 2025. We're here today on the traditional unceded territory of the Comox First Nation people to conduct our business. This is the Black Creek Oyster Bay Services Committee, and it spans or straddles both regional districts. So I'd like to welcome Director Rice here from Mary D. Strathcona Regional District. We're going to plow right in. We've got a lot of business to cover. First one, resolution status report for receipt. I'll second the move by Rice, second by Grieve. Any discussion on that? Then call the question. Anybody opposed? Carries. D, reports, water drought restrictions and conservation update. A report for receipt.
Move receipt.
Moved by Rice, seconded by Grieve. And over to staff for introductions.
Thank you, Chair Grieve. So Chris LaRose is our Senior Manager of Water and Wastewater Services, and Chris will be introducing this report. Chris, over to you.
Thank you, James, and through the chair, good morning, everyone. This report is the annual closeout report, reporting out on the drought conditions and water restrictions for the past watering season. So this year, as with last year, we brought forward a dashboard on a monthly basis, summarizing where the state of the nation, the status of water sources and water restrictions for the service areas. And this year, we also rolled out a new back page on that dashboard that included graphs showing this year's consumption against the prior 4 or 5 years, just to kind of make it easier to explain the story about consumption in these service areas. So looking back at this year, it was a fairly moderate year. We did shift to stage 1 and 2 automatically as our practice on May 1st and July 1st. And as we do typically, we did transition from groundwater wells, which we use primarily in the winter, to the river well I think it was June of this year. And then we again shifted off of the river well back to groundwater wells in September. The system peaked at water restriction level 2, and that was in place until October 15th. A slight change from last year where all restrictions were removed by the end of September. One thing of note that was highlighted to us as we navigated this watering season is that the consumption was quite historically high for the service. So we are working. However, the unaccounted for number was very low. So in other words, all of that consumption was being metered and resulting in revenue to the service. But we do like to, one of our objectives is to minimize overall consumption, and so we are working to better understand where that additional consumption is going. There is some potential that there are some leaks on private property. We have been in communications with some of those property owners, or each one of those property owners, and we're working to incentivize them to resolve their leaks. And that, as we noted at an earlier meeting this year, that could involve bringing forward some water conservation bylaw amendments that could help better incentivize resolution of those on-property leaks, potentially linked to the eligibility or not for the leak rebate. Subject, if a property has been notified, for example, if a property has been notified of a leak, they have a certain time frame to resolve it, after which the leak rebate may no longer be available. So we're giving that some thought, and we'll bring back a potential approach to a later meeting. That's all I wanted to highlight, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions, Director Rice? No questions from Director Rice. Now, my understanding is that there's in particular, a couple of property owners who didn't really respond to when you reached out to them. Is that correct? And they're letting it continue. If it is a leak, then, and as soon as they go past a certain threshold, my understanding is again that that we can forgive some of it if we fix it. Is that right?
So
Is there's a portion there where we can actually help them, and then after that, they're paying for it?
Well, right now, there is a leak, so the current regime is that there's a leak rebate in place, so.
Okay.
But it doesn't clarify, it could be improved to provide a time limit.
So that would be your bylaw improvement.
That would be a bylaw.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're right, some of them have not been as responsive as we would think, given the high volume of water that they're paying for that could potentially be
It
avoided.
may or may not be going to good use. Okay, good to know. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Seeing no other questions, do we call this one a receipt? Not yet, so motion receipt, I guess.
Oh, we did get a motion.
Do we get a motion? Okay, so we'll just on receipt then. Anybody opposed? That carries. Moving right along with Watuco petition outcome report from December 4th regarding the update on the Watuco petition to join the BCOB water local service area. For receipt. Moved on receipt. Seconded. And over for introductions again.
Thank you, Chair. Our water wastewater analyst, Kaylee Lemer, is here to introduce this report and the outcome of the Watuco petition process. Kaylee.
Thank you through the CEO to the Chair and Director. This staff report provides an update on the outcome of the petition process conducted for residents within the Watuco water system to join the BCOB water local service area and introduces relevant bylaws. Prior to initiating the petition process, staff mailed out introductory letters to all residents in the Watuco water system and invited them to an open house held at the Oyster River Fire Hall on September 18th, where petitions were available for pickup by residents and staff were able to answer questions. Due to the Canada Post strike, the deadline period was extended to November 30th, and staff held a second open house on October 30th with a presentation. Throughout the 2-month petition period, staff received feedback from residents by email and over the phone, of which the vast majority was questions relating to the presented costs. As of the petition deadline, the corporate officer confirmed 107 completed petition forms, or 80% of the total issued petitions, which is well above the 50% threshold required to proceed with the creation of the funding service and joining the properties into the BCOB water service. Should the bylaws go into effect, Watuco residents would join the BCOB service effective January 1, 2027. In order to make that timeline, staff are recommending to create the funding service now to start collecting in 26 to deliver the required system modifications, enabling Watuco residents to join the BCOB water service. As directed by the BCOB Service Committee, staff have prepared the relevant bylaws and recommend to move forward to the CVRD board for consideration of 3 readings. That's all for me, but happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Kaylee, for all your work on this file. Director Rice, any comments?
No, not really. Thank you.
Well, I have a few comments. Just so everybody's aware, Lisa Dennis did a hell of a lot of work on this file as well, working on trying to get the petition out there, some open houses, and then to finish it off, Jay Adelson and I went around on a golf cart knocking on doors just like an election, and had the petition forms handy. And some people picked them up there or said, "Oh yeah, I'm meaning to get back to that." And of course, this was the week before the deadline, so we were kind of holding their feet to the fire a little bit, and it was amazing how many came in at the last second and put us over the top, considerably over the top for this service conversion. I do say though that I think it's going to be the best outcome for all concerned. And I'd like to thank Jay so much and the Watuco company so much for being so thorough in embracing this this conversion. But in the end, everybody agrees it's the best path we could find forward. So thank you also very much on behalf of the residents of both systems. Well, that's interesting. So this is actually a big milestone. I'm really happy about it. So I guess we're just on receipt. Okay, we did call receipt, and we will call the motion on receipt. Anybody opposed to receipt on this? Seeing none, that also carries. So I guess we have the recommendation. We can move it all together if Director.
Like to move that bylaw number. I'm having a hard time reading it, even switch glasses. that the Watuco Water Modification and Connection Service established with bylaw number, and I can't read that number, 868. Okay. And further, that bylaw number 868 being the Watuco Water System Modification and Connection Service Loan Authorization bylaw number 868 or 9, and that bylaw number, I believe that's 870 in Black Creek Oyster Bay Water Local Services Area bylaw. I think that's 1983 amendment number 21.
Correct. And I'll second that. And I would recommend that maybe due to our demographics, we should maybe look into a larger font. Okay, so first and second on the recommendation. In discussion, seeing none on the recommendation, all in favor? And that carries. Okay, no media questions. I don't see anybody in the gallery. So we're going to recommend now, I need a recommendation to adjourn to restricted closed session if possible. Moved by Rice, seconded by Grieve. And we thank you all for